Hi, this is Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is June 30th, and this is a mid-year review of your career, of what you've done over the past 6 months, and what you should be focusing on over the next 6 months. So it's a great day. It's a great opportunity to just sort of stop, breathe, and kind of check in and see what's going on. And I want to give you 2 tasks for you to do. You can actually do this today after this video that you can do to help with your mid-year checklist, your mid-year check-in, that is. So first, I want you to write down 5 achievements that you are proud of that you accomplished this past 6 months. And keep going if you know more. Obviously, the more the merrier. But at the minimum, commit to writing down 5 achievements. And those can be revolved around, what you've done with your team. It can be how you have successfully strategized, a new initiative. It can be suggestions or plans that you put into place, suggestions you made or plans you put into place to, mitigate risk, where you maybe saved on expenses, where you maybe saved clients or increased revenues. So these are just some ideas that can kind of get those juices flowing for you to write down those 5 achievements. So I want you to write down your achievements because, again, I'm not going to say update your resume necessarily or any other further steps, but at least keep those, those achievements in a secure place that you keep, at home, not necessarily your desk at work, and just have them, because then if you do need them, you're not going to be trying to, recall what that was, and you've already got them written down, and that's it. And now you can focus on the next 6 months and starting to make new achievements that you can write down in 6 months. So that's item number 1 for your mid-year career review. And the next task that I want you to do is I want you to send an email, a text, a phone call, right? Whatever's the easiest way for you to communicate, LinkedIn message, whatever. And I want you to send out 3 invitations to have a networking meeting, catch-up meeting, a chat, whatever you want to call it to motivate you to do it, with 3 people in your network. These can be people you speak to all the time. Clearly that's the least amount of risk and the easiest to do, but if it gets you to do it, and because sometimes activity begets activity, and if you start doing with 3, you might do more later, fine. Maybe it's somebody you haven't talked to in a year. Maybe it's a coworker from 5 years ago that you're like, hey, we haven't caught up in a long time. It's been way too long. Let's sit down and chat. Maybe it's a former boss that you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe it's a former vendor, maybe it's a current vendor, maybe it's a former client, maybe it's a current client. But I want you to reach out to 3 people. It could be somebody from college that you haven't talked to in like ages, right? But I want you to send out 3 invitations. You might not get a response, but you've sent them out. And then that could make you think of, I didn't talk to so-and-so. Now number 4 goes out, number 5 goes out over the next few days, but commit to doing 3 today. And I'm telling you, it'll start the juices flowing, and I think you'll get at least a minimum of 1 response back. So you'll walk out of this with a networking meeting. So that's your minimum activity that I want you to do for your mid-year career review. And there's more that you can do. We're going to be covering that over the next few days on my email list. So I want you to join the list. If you haven't, you can go down below. You'll see the link to join my email list. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com. I read and reply to every email, or you can also pop a comment down below, and I also read and reply to every comment. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you on my list, because then you'll get some more advice when you're on the list. Take good care.